My mom always says her secret was ice cream, cream, sour cream, or whatever cream she had in the house. Hi, I'm Hannah, and today we're making my mom's North Dakota caramel rolls. So I'm going to start by getting the wet ingredients ready. Half a cup of heavy whipping cream, half a cup of sugar, 4 tablespoons of butter, a teaspoon and a half of salt. And heat it up until it is just steaming. You don't want it to boil. My mom taught me this recipe. It was something that she used to make for me all the time when I was younger. It reminds me of growing up and moving a lot and a sense of instability. But wherever we were, my mom would always make tasty food, and everyone would always come over for her caramel rolls, and it just made every house we were in a home. So now we're making the dough. We have the cup of water, and I'm gonna add the sugar and the yeast and then mix it up with a spoon just to get it coated. And then we have 4.5 cups of sifted flour, and then I'm also gonna add 2 eggs. Now we're gonna add the rest of the wet ingredients to the dough. And I mix it at a super low speed until the flour and the wet ingredients get all mixed up. I started cooking when I was young enough that my mom told me that I couldn't do it when she wasn't home. I would just mix up random things in the kitchen, like whatever I could find, whatever we had. I probably got that from my mom because she's never used a recipe for anything in her life. She just puts kind of whatever she can find in the house in the recipe. One of the things that my mom passed down to me was cooking as a love language. It definitely is a love language to me now. So then you need to grease a bowl and move your mixed up dough. I also grease the top of it and then cover it with either a lid or saran wrap and let it rest for 30 minutes or until it doubles in size. So to make the caramel, this is 2.5 cups of light brown sugar, and then I'm gonna add about 1/2 cup of cream. And my mom's secret ingredient, about 1.5 cups of ice cream. You want to cook this caramel until it just boils and then pull it off and let it cool down. I don't think I'd have any connection to any of my German ancestry if it wasn't for food. I know that my grandma and my grandpa made these caramel rolls. I'm sure their parents made them. So that's just really neat to think about how many hundreds of years and generations these have probably been passed down. All of the German recipes from North Dakota just remind me of family. I hope that it also brings whoever tries them back to their comfort and delicious thing that makes them feel loved and at home. So this is the caramel just boiling. So I'm gonna pull it off. I'm going to take the dough. You can see it's about doubled in size now. You want this about 6 by 19. And then you take, this is butter, spread it on the dough. Take your cinnamon and sugar, sprinkle it in the middle. And then you just roll it up as tight as you can. And then you're trying to get 12 slices out of this roll. And then you also need to grease your 9 by 13 pan, and then you just line these up in the pan. Okay, so after you have these placed in here, we're gonna take the caramel that we made and just pour it right over the top. And then we're just gonna cover these with saran wrap, and then these also rest for 30 minutes before you put them in the oven. So now we're making the buttercream frosting because caramel rolls don't have enough sugar. So you start with the butter and the sugar. This is powdered sugar. And then I use the paddle attachment. I start pretty slow because you don't want to spray powdered sugar everywhere. Then I'm going to add a pinch of salt, and then you add a tablespoon of half and half, just a tablespoon at a time until it reaches the right consistency. You can see when I pull this up out of here, it like kind of sticks. All right, so now the caramel rolls are fully risen. We're just gonna put them in the oven to bake at 350 for 45 minutes. And then I put the tinfoil on just so that they can bake all the way through without it burning the top. They're gonna bake for about 10 minutes in the oven at 350 and they'll be done. It's so good. It's so sweet, but like creamy. I think my mom would be proud.